Hey everybody, this is Alan Fine and I'm here with Seth Borko, who is the head of research at Skift. We interviewed him last year, and now we're at the Skift Megatrends 2025. We're going to talk about slow and steady growth.
Slow and steady growth.
That's the key, and consumer shifts and technology shifts here on Insider Travel Report. So let's talk about these shifts, starting with the consumer one.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I think it's not necessarily a shift, it's more of a continuation, arguably. We did our Skift Research Outlook. We're looking ahead to 2025, and we surveyed 1,600 global consumers in 5 countries. That's the United States, UK, Germany, India, and China. And they told us that travel is incredibly, incredibly important to them, and they want to spend more this year. So they told us on average they want to spend 9% more on travel than they did in 2024. So the shift is more of this, is in a sense more of the same. Travel continues to be powerful. I think the shift is just more slow and steady. That's sort of the tagline that we've been going with, right? We had that revenge travel, then we had normalization. Now we're slow and steady. There's a lot of demand for travel. The economic picture, it can vary quite a bit, but overall people tell us they're excited about travel.
Let's talk about event travel.
Okay, event travel. Yeah. This is one of our marquee mega trends itself. So we call it live tourism. You could call it event travel. It's the idea of people traveling for events. And it's not just like, oh, I want to go see a show. It's actually saying, rather than saying, I'm going to go to Vegas and I'll see who's playing at Vegas, it's the other way around. It's saying, I need to see the Dead. I need to see F1. This is important to me. And by the way, where is the F1 this year? Maybe I wasn't thinking of going to Monaco, but maybe I'm going to go. I wasn't thinking of going to Dubai, but maybe I'm going to go. So you pick the event first, you pick the trip second, and it's about people wanting that broader sense of community, right? Me and you, we're community, but the F1 fans or the Taylor Swift fans, that's a bigger 30, 40, 100,000 million person community that they want to be involved with.
Also natural events. You got the eclipse, probably cherry blossoms, or
absolutely. You're right. Cherry blossoms. That's Japan is
hot
forever, and Japan is so hot. Yeah, exactly right. Many of these are once in a lifetime experiences. Again, we think the eclipse is a very big deal. There's one coming up in 2026. The one in 2024 was
so many.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, no, I think it's a subsector of this idea of people want a reason to travel. We know people are excited about travel, so they're looking for a reason, they're looking for an excuse, and the event comes first, whether it's natural or man-made, and the destination comes second.
And this was interesting, searching for cooler climates.
Well, we think that this is a response to climate change, right? To global warming. If you saw the headlines out of Europe last summer, people were melting in 100-degree Fahrenheit, if you're European, whatever it is, it's 40 Celsius, right? They're melting. You're out. Think about how much you're out. Think about how much you're walking. Think about all the outdoor activities, the sights you got to see. If you're in Southern Europe, it's going to get incredibly hot. And so I think people are wising up to this. It's not even like, is climate change good or bad? It's not, it's literally apolitical. It's just an actual fact of, all right, well, where I want to go. And Norway in the middle of summer is beautiful. Yeah. Rome in the middle of summer, the architecture is still amazing, the food is still amazing. The actual walking around can be pretty hard. And I think with all these headlines that people are seeing, we're seeing a shift towards some of these cooler destinations.
And then luxury is no longer about the accoutrements of luxury, but more about the authenticity of where they're going, correct?
Yeah, in many ways. I think that there is only so much that you can ever charge for luxury, right? Like at a certain point, look, you can obviously get away with whatever, $1 million car. I get it. You can buy all sorts of stuff. There's a certain diminishing return to price point. And at a certain point, I'll throw in this, and I'll throw in that, and I'll throw in this, and your room will come with gold-plated this. At a certain point, there's diminishing returns to it. And what people want is the authenticity, the uniqueness, uniqueness of the experience, to feel like they had an experience, to feel like maybe even they transformed themselves, to come back a different person, in many ways the ultimate luxury. So I think that, people, if you're traveling and you're a luxury traveler, you gotta have the nice stuff, maybe the nice coffee machine and the beautiful view and a great suite, but to do the Uber stuff, there's diminishing returns. And at a certain point, what people actually want from their luxury travel, in addition to comfort, in addition to the finer things, is authenticity, is connection, is experiences.
Middle East is a sought-after destination. One of the reasons you brought up was the regulation changes. Let's talk about that.
This is a trend we've been covering quite a bit. There's a huge cultural shift happening. The Middle East is a conservative part of the world. Many European or American travelers, they want to drink. That's a big culture shift. That's been in tension for a while. And
gamble.
Well, and the new level of this is gambling. And by the way, what do you think of when you think of gambling?
Drinking.
Yeah, exactly. So we're seeing huge shifts in cultural shifts. The Middle East wants to welcome tourists. And in fact, many of them, I think, look, it's easy to poo-poo the Middle East or even Saudi Arabia sometimes. What they are undertaking is a massive cultural shift to welcome tourists because they're trying to reconfigure their economy in this direction. I think it's a huge shift. It's a major thing, and it's more than just putting build a new hotel and putting an open shingle in front of your hotel vacancy. It's about a cultural change, and it's incredible.
But your stats are showing that it's working.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, the airlines and their treatment of first class, they're really learning how to exploit that.
It's definitely. Yeah, I mean, the shift towards premium is very real. This trend in particular was about first class. I think it's about offering something special to the traveler. The point is, look, I mean, it's a joke. Comedians have been talking about it forever. Flying is not the experience it was in the 60s, but travel is important to people. People's time, their experiences are important, and people have money to spend. So we are seeing a shift towards premiums, people saying, like, I will pay to have that overhead space, to have that more luxurious XYZ. And the ultimate extension of that is the first class cabin. First class cabin was passé for a very long time in favor of a business class cabin, but we're seeing many more airlines launch true first classes, many cases in a way to differentiate themselves. As more airlines become premium, like if JetBlue offers a business class and you are Emirates or you're Air France, all right, well, I got to do something even more than business class. How do I say that I'm Air France, not JetBlue? No offense to JetBlue, I fly them plenty. That's not what I mean by this. So first class seems to be the answer.
People are wondering about the Trump administration influence. There is an influence, but we don't know about the regulations yet. Any predictions?
I'm not going to offer any predictions about Trump, personally. I think that's fraught territory. We did, as part of our Megatrends, we offered anonymity, right? Journalists don't, well, you can have background stories, but journalists don't often offer true anonymity, and we did that. We said, give us 3 words. I don't want a whole speech. Just give us 3 words. What do you think? I would say, overall, more travel industry executives in private were optimistic about Trump. Like, in general, there is a sense of optimism. I think that explains the election results to a sense. We're going to see more, but I think whether Trump is good or bad, the one thing he is for sure is unpredictable.
So one of the things you found was a tech shift.
Yeah.
So talk about that, and then I have some follow-ups.
There's so much. How can we pick one thing for a tech? Right. There's so much. I think there's 2 or 3 big ones we've identified. Social media, I would consider a tech one. We are also looking very closely at artificial intelligence, right. AI tools. That's what all the conversations here in person at the Megatrends really have come back to AI. And I know you're sick of AI and hearing about it. One of the things I've heard people say is, look, we're underestimating what AI is going to do in the next year. We're overestimating what AI is going to do in the next year. We're underestimating what it's going to do in the next 10 years. Right now, so many AI tools are back-end tools. They're used to help customer service, or they're kind of toys that people are playing around with or beta testing. One of the things that we think is going to happen, and we're hearing from the industry, is that it's going to move to front of house. It's going to move to consumer-facing tools, and that's going to have huge, very profound shifts and changes in how people travel, and also how, not just how they travel, but how they find destinations, how they book travel, how they do all that sort of stuff.
And for the travel advisor, it's going to be very helpful.
I think so. I think AI will be a tool. Like I think of it like Excel. No one says that Excel took their job. Excel makes you better at their job, right? And so we're going to see shifts. I mean, things will change. But for the travel advisor, I think it's not something to be afraid of. It's something to experiment with, something to embrace, and figure out where there's flaws and issues where you can offer that human curated element. That's what tech does so well. Pouring over hundreds of different destinations and hotels and airlines and combos, that's manual busy work that maybe AI can help you with it. Focus on what the traveler actually wants from a travel advisor, which is that human element.
Spell checker.
Spell checker.
Calculator. I'm going to lose my job. You're not.
Makes you better at your job. Exactly right. Now, there were people whose jobs were calculators, by the way, to really even go in for the back. So if your job is just a calculator, you're at risk. But if your job is to use those numbers as outputs, you're in a good spot.
And so another finding you had, pet travel.
This is maybe one of my favorite trends. It's so much fun. I mean, pet travel, yeah, the idea is like people don't want to leave Fido behind, right? My parents have a mini poodle. Her name is Roxy. She's adorable. I love her. Roxy was picked specifically so that she could fit in a plane, in the carry-on of a plane. And so what we're seeing is hotels, businesses, industries, travel agents, whoever that cater to pets. We think that that's an important differentiator and something that people want more and more of, right? So people don't want to leave their pets at home. They want to. You're going on vacation with your family. You want to bring your family. Your pet's part of the family. This is one of my favorite megatrends.
Concluding, travel advisors are not dead. We said that last time.
We said that last time.
And let's
say it again. We will say it again. Travel advisors are not dead. They have an important part of this industry, and we are excited. The industry is growing, and we're excited about what's coming in 2025.
Your findings are finding they're not dead. Also, let's talk about your podcast.
My podcast, the Skift Travel Podcast, with myself, Seth Borko, head of research, and Sarah Kopit, our editor-in-chief. If you like what we're doing, if you're interested in hearing more, please go ahead. It's a free podcast. You can find it wherever your podcasts are found. Give us a listen and let us know what you think.
Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay. And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.